Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my NBs. Welcome here to Riverside Arena in the beautiful Winnipeg. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, my dude? Welcome to Game 2 of the FBA Finals.
I'm doing great, Marcus. Glad to be here in the finals. One game down, maybe three left to go based off Albany's win last night or the other night.
Yeah, it was a very huge shock of how Albany was able to really dominate here in the second half after a really what seemed like a back and forth game in the first half. How do you think that Winnipeg is able to kind of bounce back after a loss like that?
They're going to have to rely on their veterans. I mean, Mike Timmons got the honorary start game one, kind of honoring his tenure with the Voyagers, but we'll be seeing Baltave, the much younger second year player, taking over here tonight. But with Carbonu, Balka, and Timmins, they really have to show poise here tonight. They can't afford to go down 0-2 heading to uh, Albany after a. They can't go to Albany down two. If they're down two in Albany, it's going to be a four-game sweep.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to bounce back and bounce back hard because, like, even though that a lot of these players have been here for a very, very long time, this is really their first time really tasting, having a taste of possibly getting a chip. And of course, every player is going to be overwhelmed in their first time. But now that's come and gone, it's time to really kind of put their game face on because once you get punched, the gloves are kind of off. You're gonna have to be a little bit scrappy, and I think that's what I'm gonna expect to see from Winnipeg. But going over to the Albany side, what do you think they have to do to really kind of continue that momentum? Because everything seems to be on their side.
I mean, we talk about championship pedigree on the Albany Alpha sides. Terry O'Toole taking home MVP this year, and then you look around the players that are surrounding him. Narkissa won a ring in Tallahassee. Uh, Kivar won a ring in Albany. Yona's been to the finals twice with Hawaii. We've got a very experienced playoff team starting lineup. The youngest player, Cassius Watterson, is really the only rookie variable, and he actually has, I'd argue, uh, a great matchup for him against Andreas Kokinos, another young player. So I can't even really argue that it's a weak matchup at the center position with his lack of experience.
Yeah, for sure. And this is going to be something that is very interesting, really seeing the dynamic of having a team that literally lost their home field advantage game one compared to another team that is probably flying high and are ready to try this chip once again for Albany. But we're going to see how things go as we're seeing everybody lining up on the court right now. And there you go. The crowd is being riled out, trying to support their team here in Winnipeg. Can the take game two, or will Albany be able to sneak one in once again? It's going to be a very exciting time here. Can't wait to get things started. And it looks like it's going to be winding to Albany.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think, a constant problem for them with Watterson having such a height advantage over Kokinos.
Yeah, and as you say that, they were able to get the easy 2 points, getting the early lead 2-0. Let's see how Winnipeg responds here as Malka has the rock. Kevin going over to Kokinos. Kokinos had to do something with it. He passed it over to Baltov. Baltov might have to take a tough shot here. Lots of passing over to Winnipeg, and Malka going for a desperation mid-ranger, and it's good. Great way to answer back there for Winnipeg.
Yeah, burning the whole shot clock to get it done, though. And as you saw there, about 4 or 5 Furs touched the ball before they decide to go with someone.
And as we say that, we get a huge miss there in the mid-range for Albany as Winnipeg has the rock this time. We'll see if they take the lead here.
Yeah,
Good
Narkissa
pass
has
over
to
to
step up,
Balka.
and Malka! Oh,
Ooh,
blocked.
and they had no choice but to foul there for Watterson as Malka got a wide open lane for an easy dunk. Had no choice but to foul, so we'll see him go for two.
How dare the Otter deny us such a great dunk possibility from the Pangolin?
Hey man, they're trying to make sure that they have a little highlight as possible as Kevin's able to get the first point, giving the first lead to Winnipeg. But he's not able to get the second, so they're only up by 1. Here comes Terry. Going down lane pretty easily, but gets blocked. Good defense right there. And right now, Winnipeg trying to see if they can get into the paint on their own, but instead they back off. Really not a good matchup to go into the paint, so they might have to give it up, and they do give it to Kokino. Kokino's got a little bit of a height advantage, but instead passes out to Carbono. Eve going for the quick, tough shot, and no good. They really are trying to drain as much time as possible in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them go into the first game, halftime only down by 3, and maybe they realized their pace. They were playing a little bit too much to Albany's, and now they're trying to play to their own.
Yeah, and right now as Kivar tries to lay it up, but no good. Kevin gets the rebound. Already a couple of boards there for the Pangolin. And Kokino starts to get up, and it gets blocked pretty easily. And we get another block right there. Huge block party by Watterson.
Yeah, the Otter adds so much height to the Albany lineup, and it's showing off there.
Yeah, right now the pace is starting to pick up a little bit as Winnipeg's able to get the score there from Yves Carbonu, laying it up and in. So now they're only up by 3.
Yeah, but defense can only do so much as you can't if your offense isn't generating anything.
And Cassius going for a long, I believe it was a long 2, but it was no good. Now Eve trying to find some spacing. Martineau got an open lane, going for that tough layup, but it's good. The defense didn't really matter, going for the easy 2 against a very small defender, and we get a quick timeout there for Albany. After the first few minutes of this game, Winnipeg really trying to show that they're not going to back down without a fight in this one.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, their field goal percentage isn't great. We saw 2 huge blocks from Watterson. Albany, I think, really here is trying to make an adjustment to their offense because they have come out absolutely sputtering here with only 1 basket.
Yeah, and they really need to find some kind of answer as they've been going on cold. They probably might have to rely on a little bit of a perimeter shooting as we get to see Cassius coming over to Vassenhout. Once again, clock winding down, and Kivar trying to go for the tough 2 points, and he's able to get it. So they finally got their second basket of the game as they cut the deficit down 2-3. Winnipeg still with the lead.
And that might be their answer. Kivar gives up a lot of weight to the Pangolin, but he makes up for it with speed, so he can be a very big threat on the offense and being able to get around Kevin.
Yep, and Francois with the miss there as Albany is trying to go ahead and kind of lifts it down to 1, and they do just that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they want to go with the Jaguar.
Yeah, really good offense there for Albany. They're able to get that couple deficit right back down, so they're able to answer back. We'll see if Winnipeg is able to respond here as they go for, again, with the paint, but no good as Watterson gets the rebound once again. Right now, Cassius almost losing the ball there. They may have to go for a jump ball, and they do just that. It's a jump ball against Kevin Malka. Probably one of the last people you want to have a jump ball.
Well,
do you think do you even bother jumping here?
I mean, you gotta, but I think it's more so the way she swatted the ball out of Malka's hands after after they blew the whistle shows her frustration because there we go, dunk.
Ooh. Our first highlight dunk of the game as Winnipeg extends it thanks to Malka.
And to be fair, I think Malka against any center would be actually struggling, but he just got matched up due to the jump ball against the shortest person on the court for Albany.
Yeah, for sure, and we're trying to see if Albany's able to respond, but nope, that's not going to be the case as we get another rebound here for Winnipeg. Carboneau, lots of good passing there as Cassius lays it up and in, and once again, they're back up by 5.
That was Andreas that laid it up and in.
Oh, my bad, excuse me.
Cassius was the one who dished out the assist, I believe.
Yeah, right now, Watterson being a little bit isolated. thinking of probably going into the paint against a much smaller defender.
Sorry, Carbonu is the one who just shot the assist. Whoa,
But
I'm
going to
losing my
pass it
mind
up, and
here.
Vasano lays it up and in. Good job by Vasano. Really great dish there for Albany, going for those easy 2 points. Try to cut this down to 3.
Well, and that's where I think Vastanu really plugs in well to the Albany game plan. He doesn't have to be a big scorer. He can give the ball up to Narkissa and Terry and dish it down low into the paint. That's what he did in Hawaii with that awesome scoring lineup. He really wasn't relied on there to be the point generator, but to be the assist man.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, Albany trying to see if they can cut the deficit even more so, but not able to get it done. But a good rebound, but still no good. Great effort, though. So now Winnipeg, lots of passing, trying to see if they can slow down the pacing a little bit. Try to get more control into this game so they can extend this lead. Let's go, Kinos. Trying so hard, but loses the ball there. And now Albany has it. Great defense by Watterson, and Watterson gets paid wonderfully as they go for the easy 2.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the Winnipeg bench and trying to see if they have anyone they can really match up against Cassius in the post, and I'm not seeing a lot. The Otter is, offensive violation.
Offensive 3-second violation. Very costly turnover there in the early going. So now Albany has a chance to take the lead here. We'll see if they can capitalize on this mistake.
Yeah, the only player I can think of maybe matching up well against him would be Eli Shuck, the 7'6" Pangolin, but he doesn't play as many minutes. He's more of a role player for the Voyagers.
And here we just see some really good crossover there as they get the easy buckets there for the Alphas. So now Albany finally gets the lead back ever since the opening quarter.
Alphany?
No.
I mean, that is a unique abbreviation of the names.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's pretty creative, but Winnipeg does get the lead back. Are we going to see this going back and forth? But that's not going to be the case here as Winnipeg does get the rebound.
You mean the Voyagers?
Yeah, the Warrior. We'll just go merge the city and the team name from now on for the rest of this game. We'll see how long that lasts. Another costly turnover there as Albany is able to really do very well defensively, but they got to capitalize, and they do just that with a nice little finger roll.
Yeah, the ground squirrel. Nice agility there, dancing between the defenders and laying it up and in.
So we've only got 4 minutes left of the first quarter. Getting a quick dish to Caliber. Caliber going for a long 15-footer, but it's no good. And now Terry. The big dog is trying to see what lane he can probably open up. Really trying to go one-on-one, pass it over to Kivar. Kivar got the nice little quick mid-range, and now they're up by 3 as they're in a little bit of a run, 14-6 in the past few minutes.
Yeah, and it really came out of that timeout. We saw them make 2 quick buckets and wipe away the lead that the Voyagers had built, and they've just kept that momentum going. Wouldn't be surprised if Winnipeg calls a timeout soon if Albany pulls away much more, but that sweet double clutch under the rim.
That's a way to kind of get this crowd back into it as they kept the deficit down 2-1. But they do have to step it up on defense here to try to prevent any more scoring opportunities for the Alphas. Now Vassiljev loses the ball there. Good defense there by Winnipeg. And they go ahead and head over to Martineau with a great dish. So now they got the lead once again. Now we finally get another timeout there by the Alphas. It's their second timeout for the game. So even though the Alphas have been able to cut the deficit and make it a little bit of a back and forth, Winnipeg still has a little bit of control here in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they have they were able to cut the lead down and they've been on this run, they obviously just want to probably make some substitutions and make some adjustments to prevent Winnipeg from building anything back up. Keep the momentum in their favor. Keep the run going into the second quarter.
Yeah, we do see majority of the second tier bench players to get on the court. As we get a quick score there for Albany as they do take the lead 18-17.
And it's Loomis stepping up off the bench for the Alphas, putting up the buckets, but the back and forth continues.
And this is kind of what you like to see between these two teams. One that's just trying to make sure that let them know that they're not out of it just yet, while another trying to really stomp and punch their ticket to history as Loomis once again with another quick score in the paint. Doing really well within 15 feet.
Well, that's kind of the question, Marcus, here in the playoffs, especially the finals. How much of a mental wall is it to get over if you're down 2-0, 0-2, and then heading on the road?
Yeah, that's really kind of the big mental state as Loomis probably being sneaky once again, but this time it's fouled by Caliber. That's their first.
I mean, I feel like if Albany, they go into game 3 up to, the pressure really starts mounting on them not to mess up, but at the same time, the opponents are going to become desperate at that point. There's almost no room for mistakes. So this is a absolute must-win here tonight for Winnipeg, getting that first win under their belt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for Albany, like getting game 2 is just really putting icing on the cake at that point, because you know
they have home field advantage
when you
now.
are the team that's away, you're not expected. Yeah. Everything else is just sweetness after that, but of course, I trying their best to force it in, and they do get the end. Really tough plays there for Hyde, as they're able to make the old school 3-point play, tying this up 22 apiece.
Well, we saw game 1 go into halftime nearly tied, and it turned into a bit of a blowout there in the second half. See if Winnipeg can make more proactive, predictive adjustments if this game continues at this pace. They can't afford to keep it close and then give up another heartbreaker to their fans.
With a good screen for Cloverfield, but it was left with nothing as Winnipeg does get the rock here. And I doing a little bit too much with his pause there as he accidentally stepped on the line. So an unforced turnover once again for Winnipeg as the Alphas have a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, less than a minute on the game clock. 2 or 3 possessions left before the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, right now attackers are trying to survey the field as he passes over to Cloverfield. Cloverfield has the space to possibly shoot, but this instead just wanting to possibly look for an ISO. And he's going to go drive on the big man, and he's able to get it done.
Yeah, Connie
really
Cloverfield using that speed.
The big bird. Yeah, that speed being really reliable as Albany has the lead. They're up by 2. We'll see if Winnipeg responds as Lynn is over to Ide.
Look at that matchup in the post they've set up.
Oh, yeah, and Caro is going to take that all day, every day, as they are able to tie it up with ease. Really taking advantage of that height differential.
I mean, he practically just leaned and put it in the basket.
And here we see an attempt at a 3, and it's no good. And that's how we're going to end it off, as Albany is now up by 2, 24-22.
No, tied, 24 apiece.
Oh, tied. Yeah, 24 apiece. My bad.
And Fitch Loomis, hot from inside the three-point line, not able to convert there. Had a chance to kind of give some momentum going into this quarter. And a quick play to Lynn. Ooh. She's able to lay it up and in.
What a great pass. Great court awareness, too. That was the one way to open up a quarter.
I mean, they caught the defense sleeping.
Yeah, this really shows that they really mean business. Like, they are clearly angry about what happened at game 1. And Winnipeg is just not going to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Who does a full court pass out of the quarter to lay it up and in? That is insane as we see another bucket fall.
Yeah, if that's not on, like, the top 10 plays of tonight, I don't know what. And right now we get to see Issa Jimmy.
I was going to say, it's just so deceptive to – it's such a simple play. They pass the ball. What does that matter? That is a pinpoint pass at that distance. A little bit off, and that goes sailing out of bounds or ends up in the paws of the defender.
Yeah, it really just shows how skillful these players are. I mean, Remember, this is someone coming from the bench making a pass like that.
I mean, that's a
Right now,
UFL
AJ.
tryout.
For sure. And AJ has to do something with it. And it gets blocked there by Henderson. Really good defense by Albany. And he tried to lay it up, but it gets fouled by Timmons.
Yeah, she'll handle the line for 2. Misses the first off the back iron.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see here. Those easy points are going to matter. We'll see if Henderson makes the second one. And she does. So the deficit is now down to 3. Mike with the rock. Hand it over to Coquinos. He's trying to go for that dish into the paint, but gets deflected by Albany. So now they have the rock with a quick turnover. And now they're trying to dish what they tried to serve on the other end, and it dunk.
Yeah, Takaru coming in big there with that slam. Getting it back within 1. But Mike Timmons finds the lane. The sea parted for him.
Ooh. Yeah, Mike, the long-time veteran, the heart and soul of the Voyagers for a very long time. Really just showing that he's not done yet. He's able to get the quick 2. We'll see if he make a 3-point play after this one. And he does just that. So now Winnipeg is up by 4, 31-27. 10 minutes left of the first half.
I mean, I almost feel bad for Mike Timmons. I mean, a player I thought would be the regular starter for the... Ooh! A 3! Gets fouled.
Very rare mistake there. You don't really see that often.
Well, yeah, the crowd is upset too. But I was saying, Mike Timmons, kind of seemed like he was going to be the starter for the Voyagers. And ever since kind of the Derek Kim drafting of 2015, where he fell to the Voyagers so far down and he took over the starting role. And I don't know if that just really damaged the Pronghorns' confidence, but it never seemed to be the same kind of player. He never really entered that starting level on a consistent basis.
Hey, but he's really trying to show all that heart and grit for having the team at least believe in him enough to stay on the team and be a valuable role player. And right now, Lynn tried to pass it over into the paint, but sent it by Henderson quite easy. Not one of the best passes there as Hunt. Looking over to Cassius. Cassius got a quick screen, going for a tough 3. Going for that fadeaway. Not really a shot that you want to see from Cassius, but now Winnipeg has a chance to try to extend the lead again. As Coquinos trying to see where he goes. Go over to Timmons, going for the screen. Timmons probably has to do something with it. Going for that really tough shot, and it's no good. Really good defense there for Albany. Now Hunt. Pass it up to Cassius. Cassius going for a fadeaway and no good.
Bit of a stall here for both teams.
Yeah, both teams are kind of a little bit on a cold streak at the moment. As it's been the past few possessions, and we get another foul there. So once again, we're going to see Winnipeg go for 2 more free throws as Mike Timmons is now on the free throw line, and he misses the first one. Right now, both teams seem to be struggling on the free throw line.
Yeah, but they're finding their way there. Both of them are. Just need to start finding some consistency there. Maybe some Game 2 jitters of the final.
Yep, and Timmons was able to make the second one, so they're now only up by 2. I'll be trying to get something going, and Hunt does have the mismatch that he wants to probably drive down into the paint, but instead just it over to Cassius. Cassius gets a quick screen. Trying to go for an open lane, but instead goes for that pick and pop play, but it's no good. Really did not, probably overestimated her ability trying to go over such a wide frame.
Well, and I feel like that's been Winnipeg's game plan here tonight, is they have played very tight to the lemur. They are not letting her get
Yeah,
any
Cassius.
open looks.
Yeah, Cassius has really just been struggling all night. It seems like just trying to find a way to get her open is really going to be very important if ALB is expected to win this game. And Cassius go for a tough three as I say that. Taking the lead there from Winnipeg with that shot. Really beautiful play.
And that is why they are playing her so tightly, because she can do things like that.
Yeah, but they were quick to answer back as they take the lead once again. Going for that easy layup for the Big Fur.
And the third team for Coquinos, but fouling hard from behind Lynn. She has to be careful. That was almost a flagrant foul with how high she was hitting Narcissa.
Yeah, Cassius is really trying to show that she's going to try and speed things up because we already know that Albany is very, very scary when the pace is fast. But now they get to go on the line for 2 possibly easy free throws. I don't know. It's been pretty much struggling for both teams. We'll see if it goes down here.
And why must you jinx it?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to do my job, okay? It's not my fault if the ball does not go through the net.
Do you get $50 every time you cast a curse?
Maybe. You never know. But we'll see if Cassius makes the second one.
See?
No, she misses the ball. That's a really, really rare thing to happen, especially.
I mean, that was a hard hit from behind from Lynn, so maybe still feeling a little bit of the impact, but you're right. Narcissa's a very consistent free throw shooter.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably put a lot of that on the hit because it was pretty vicious, but that really just goes to show how it's important to probably take those fouls when it's necessary, but...
Well, I mean, if it's a guaranteed bucket, it is almost worth sending them to the line and hope that they miss one. Sometimes you get really lucky with those two. And Winnipeg, Timmins, I think it was Martineau actually getting the bucket there.
Yeah, Martineau really showing a lot of great premise, thriving in the shooting competition. And now we're hearing the crowds yelling defense as we get a quick shot there from Albany, and now they cut the deficit down 2-1. We see the field goal percentage. Winnipeg doing really, really well. 57% overall compared to Albany's 44.
Yeah, but Albany's getting more chances, as you see, as they are only down by 1. And that was Terry O'Toole stepping in, coming off the bench, rested.
Yeah, and great defense again from Albany. And Kivar going for the midway jumper, but no good. So not able to take advantage of that there, as Winnipeg once again has an opportunity to go down the court and trying to extend this lead back to a 3-point, and they could do it here. Nope. Malka gets fouled there. I believe that was on Toole.
It was, and it looked like a bit of a mishandling of the pass received from Baltave, because it was an open lane to the hoop for a dunk from Malka, but I think Eric, either the ball was a little off or Malka just fumbled the exchange, because we saw him have to collect it, and that just gave Terry time to get a paw up and jump, even though it led to a foul.
Yeah, but it still was a little bit, because Malka was only able to make 1 of 2. So Albany has a chance to either tie it or possibly take the lead. We'll see what they plan here is get a kick screen and go for it. But when he gets blocked, huge block there as Cassie tried to go for it again, but again gets blocked. Now we have a shot by a really amazing defense here on Cassie as they're making sure that every shot she takes is going to be tough as heck.
Oh, especially when they put Malka on her. I mean, former defensive player of the year is not an easy opponent to be matched up against, and as they are on her, that's another foul against her. They are not letting her get a clean shot up.
Not at all, but this time she is able to make the first. As you can see, 4 points, only 1 for 3 on behind the line. Really struggling here tonight. But she is able to make her first shot, and she's able to get the second one.
There we go. That's not our Narcissa we know.
Yeah. You know, like, you can forget about that Caster's curse thing.
You didn't say anything before the free throws, so that's why. Oh, and huge block from Watterson.
Yeah, Albany is just turning it up here defensively, but we see a turnover there on Winnipeg's end. And right now, we're trying to see a quick three, and it's no good. It got knocked over to Watterson, so Albany does get the ball back. And now we had to see a quick 15-footer, and it is good. So there, Kivar really relying on that mid-ranger to give Albany the lead once again. 39-37, less than 5 minutes left in the first half.
And that was a great tip out from him. He had lost the battle for the box out, and Malco was ahead of him. He had an easy offensive rebound coming his way, but Kivar timed it perfectly and tipped it out towards his teammate. And that just shows the height advantage and that a bit more of a vertical can give you if you don't go over the top of the rebounding player.
And Coquinos able to get the quick bucket to tie everything up once again. On a piece, and we get another timeout. I believe it was Winnipeg's timeout.
Yes, first I believe timeout from Winnipeg.
Yeah, right now we're seeing.
Oh no, sorry, it's still Albany. That was Albany's third timeout. Albany wants to make sure they get things they want.
Yeah, because I think they realize that the Winnipeg has officially woken up and they're not really giving any kind of strength here. As Terry goes for a long three, and it is good. Terry's starting to wake up right now as they take the lead up to 3.
Well, and that's the fear with the big dog. You know, he is definitely a beast in the post, but his 3-game is nothing to scoff at either. And being paired with Narcissa, if they're going to start playing her that tightly, that's just going to open other people up. And Terry is not someone you can guard lightly.
As really one of those picked or poison, so even though Cassius has been somewhat contained, they have to watch out for Terry as well, but right now, both teams are really going neck and neck here, trying to fight tooth and nail. It's been a very scrappy game, so.
Yeah, number of fouls both ways.
Right now, we get to see a quick dish to Fasten in the paint, and he's able to lay it in with ease. Good dish there by Watterson.
As I said, he doesn't have to score. Doesn't mean he can't score.
Yeah, just got to have everything open up. As Coquino's passing way out to Martineau. And now here comes the mid-ranger, and it is good once again. Winnipeg only down by 1. Both teams really relying with going in between the line just to make sure that they have to rely on those efficient shots within the 15 feet.
Yeah, and Andreas, this is his 3rd team since being drafted. This is his 2nd season, so not a easy start to his career, but here in the finals.
Yeah, right now Francois got the easy board. Really trying to slow things down again, trying to see if they can find some kind of open if we get a quick screen, but to no avail. Pass it up to Coquinos. Coquinos getting guarded pretty well, going for a tough fadeaway, and it goes in and out. Kivar has the rebound.
Like I said, that's going to be the biggest matchup. He's going up against the 7'6" Otter, and the Dragon has to be able to use his body and battle on equal footing there, or else Watterson's just going to walk all over him.
Yeah, right now, Eve trying to go into the paint, gets quickly closed in, but it didn't matter as Eve was able to go ahead and get the quick lay-in. So now they take the lead and is back up by 1, 45-44. The scrappiness just continues between these two teams as they try to fight their way into the paint. Now Cassius gets blocked once again, and then another block. Cassius does get the ball back and gets fouled there.
No, she fouls.
No, she fouls.
Oh my lord, that is... You talk about help defense. 1 block. Okay, she recovers the ball. Malka comes flying in to deliver the 2nd block. Narcissa is in a living nightmare right now with these blocks coming in from every which way. If she has the ball, they are trying to block her.
Yeah, they're just trying to make sure to get her rattled as Kevin does make the 2nd one. Now they're up by 2. And it looks like they're going to give the point guard job to Terry because of the overwhelmed Cassius has been. And Terry goes with the quick 3, and it's good.
I mean, if he's feeling it, just let him play point. I mean, I think they have Connie in right now, or Fit, to play point guard. We'll see the next possession.
And we will see that as, like I said, Winnipeg really trying to show a lot of grit and tough. We have a really good size advantage here. We'll see if they can go ahead and dish it to give it, but instead, no, they're going to go for the long two, and it's no good. Right now, Albany go for the quick dish to Hijima, and Hijima dunks it down.
Just like last night, Albany pulling ahead by 3 here in the final minute of the second quarter.
And so they really have to be careful, or they're going to go ahead and rewrite the same story as it was game one. Hopefully that's not going to be the case as Caliber. Trying to go for the tough mid-ranger, and he does rattles it in. Had a lot of furs within the paint within that one, but he was able to get it down.
So yes, they
now
have
Terry.
Fitch Loomis in.
And right now Terry getting guarded right into the paint, but he tries to dish it over, but loses it. Very costly turnover as Carbonu is going for the quick roll up, and it is good. So now Winnipeg once again up by 1. Really taking advantage of those costly mistakes. And they lost the ball again. Winnipeg really bringing up on defense with the last minute of the first half, and they are really taking advantage as now they're up by 3 just like that. And right now, Albany should be able to be the one to take the last possession, and they are going for that quick shot, but no good. So at the end of the first half, Winnipeg up by 3. Really, really good answer there for Winnipeg as they're able to lead within the first half.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes down to the defense. We saw multiple turnovers there. I mean, Malka all over the place, coming in to intercept the passing lane, the blocks, the turnovers by everyone in general, being able to generate them. And I mean, Albany, well, when you see the stats, Waterston definitely coming in big with those blocks. But Malka, huge with blocks too. I think he has at least 3 on Narcissa alone. But we'll have to see what kind of adjustments they make as this game continues like the first one where one team is up by 3. Can they continue that momentum into the second half? But we'll take a look at stats here shortly. And jumping on over to the Voyagers first. And yes, Malka, 4 blocks, on pace for a possible triple-double here. Carbonu, not really taking that many shots, but 3 for 4 from the field with 6 total points. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And Andreas, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. 3 turnovers, though, not what you necessarily want to be seeing. And Malka does need to also pick it up from the free throw line, shooting only 50%. He could be up to double digits already in points if he was a little bit more consistent there. Francois coming in with 8 points in the half, 4 for 6. Voltave, quiet here, 0 for 4, dishing out 2 assists. Caliber coming off the bench, 6 points, 3 for 5 from the field with an assist and a steal. Caro, perfect from the floor, 4 points total, but that's all. Lynn, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and a turnover, and a bit of a hard foul against Narcissa from behind, but the Pink Orchard Madness coming off the bench. Middendorf, 1 shot attempt in the 8 minutes, but the Bear unable to get to fall. Timmins, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 1 basket, 3 rebounds, and an assist for the Pronghorn. Ide, using the most of his 5 minutes with 7 points, a rebound, an assist, and a steal. That 1 rebound also being an offensive one. Ugori, only 4 minutes, 1 rebound in that time. Jumping on over to the Alphas, Terry, 3 for 4. Might need to be more involved in the second half. Bassett, 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, and that is the biggest glaring standout is Narcissa. 1 for 14, and about 6 of those shots were blocked. And it is very hard to have a good night shooting if you are getting attacked that much. I mean, she gave 7 rebounds, which for Narcissa is a lot. And that's because she's getting her own rebounds after being blocked. Kivar, 4 baskets, 8 points, 3 rebounds. Waterson, bit of everything. 2 steals, 3 blocks, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 points, 2 for 3 from the field. Loomis off the bench, the best score so far for the Alphas, 10 points in 9 minutes. Connie, 2 points, 3 assists coming off the bench. Henderson, bit of everything. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 points, all coming from the free throw line. She is getting nice contact on her attacks to the basket. Oscar, only 7 minutes, pulled down 1 board. Don't be surprised if we see him come in to try and battle Malcolm more through the series. Ishijima, 4 points, perfect from the field with a block to his name as well. Tapisa, 1 rebound, 5 minutes. Again, expect another big body to become on the floor to help guard against Cassius. Hunt, 3 minutes for the rookie, 1 rebound so far in this game. And that wraps up the stats for the half, Marcus. What are your takeaways looking at that?
Well, I mean, I think you've already alluded to it earlier with the fact that like the defense on Cassius has just been insane. So someone else has to step up for Albany, and you'd expect Terry to do that. And right now, Winnipeg not being able to get anything done as Watterson gets a quick block just to start off the opening quarter, and Terry is able to just try to say that, yeah, I'm gonna take some fouls here and go for on the line for 2. Hopefully they do go in. Totally not saying that to prove that the caster curse is
You're not trying to earn another $50 here?
Totally. See, look at that. Yeah, no caster's curse there. Able to make the first one. But yeah, that's going to be the big thing for Albany, is just trying to find ways to continue to find other ways to get some points in outside of Cassius, because Cassius has really been the non-factor. But for Winnipeg, it's just continuing to put the pressure and make sure Albany fights for every single basket as they're doing right now.
Well, that's part of the problem. A lot of their points do flow through Narcissa on the Albany side. We see a nice little laying off the fingertips there.
Yeah, quick, able to extend that up to 3, and you are correct in that regards. I mean, you got to see other players kind of step up, especially Terry, and you get another good defensive effort as Winnipeg does get the rock once again with Baltov trying to push it up for a quick lob, and he does able to get it in. So right now, Winnipeg doing really good compared to how it was game 1 in the start of the second half. And O'Toole going for 3, and it's no good.
That was a great play design. He was very open for that 3, but blocked. Watterson saved that dunk. Get a replay of that.
Great block.
Yeah, great chase down. I mean, that is one way to silence the crowd as Winnipeg is looking to build a lead.
Yeah, and Baltov having to bring this back out, trying to get a little bit of a reset going. Does get a good screen. Hand it over to Kokinos. Kokinos, probably the big Dragons, trying to go into the paint, and he does just that. And he does get the foul, so he goes in the line for 2.
Yeah, that good pump fake there. I mean, he knows he has a shorter defender on him. If he can bait him into the air, he can bounce off of him and have an easy shot attempt. But not able to convert, so go to the line for 2.
And he is able to make the first one, so Winnipeg now has a 6-point lead, which I believe is the longest lead that we have in the game.
I believe so. Winnipeg was up by 5 at one point in the very beginning of the game, and now up by 7. But since then, it was really close after that.
Yeah, both teams really trying to go back and forth, just really going through the punches. But now Winnipeg starting to find a little bit of a rhythm as Kivar goes into the paint and is able to get the layup. Really good drive down into the basket.
Oh, apparently they were listening to us. There you saw 7 is the lead, the biggest lead, but there have been 15 lead changes here tonight.
Yeah, and that's got to be pretty crazy how close these two teams are. As Kevin passes it over to Malka.
He passed it to himself?
Oh, please. They know how it is. But the Terry trying to lay it up and in, but it's no good. Right now, they do have some pretty good looks at the open lane. He's got to find a way to lay it in. As right now, Terry's 50%. Starting to go a little bit cold as the game goes on. Eve. Send it over to Martineau. Francois trying to go for the quick fadeaway, but it's no good as Watterson does get the board. Terry hands it over to Kivar, and Kivar with a quick dunk.
And again, the Jaguar with his speed, he is going to be tough for Malka to defend. They're probably going to try and wear the Pangolin out by moving Kivar around as much as possible. That, like I said, he's going to get bullied in the post by the bigger fur, but he has the speed. And you do get to possibly say here, Cassius to Cassius, as Cassius Watterson could pass to Narcissa Cassius, but it intercepted.
Yeah, right now, Carpenter trying to go for the quick finger roll. No good there, but Coquinos gets the board. Tries to lay it up, but still no good. You gotta take advantage of those second chance opportunities there, but I wasn't able to capitalize. Now Kibar. Trying to see if they can find someone open. Got the quick screen. Has a little bit of lane open, going for the pick and pop, but it's no good as Kevin does get the board. Now Carpenter. Really trying to look for some moves, and he does just that. But Malka does get the board with the miss and get quick 2. And Winnipeg now once again is up by 5.
Yeah, offensive board's going the way of the Voyagers right now. And the Alphas just get back into boxing out. I mean, I know the Winnipeg is using a lot of switches. So we see Bastard hit for 3 is short.
Ooh. That would have been a great way to silence the crowd if they were able to get that wide open shot. And Martineau trying to fight his way into the paint, but gets his own rebound and is able to get 2 points. Really great effort by Francois.
Yeah, and I feel like that play was really, that's one of those ones that gets drawn up for Narcissa, but because of how tightly they've been playing it, they switched it up and had her be the one, as we see here. Again, off the screen for 3. She sets her pause, and there we go. She has the space. She can make the basket.
And those are the ones that you really hope that she can make, because that's been a rare thing to see tonight, being wide open like that. And the Voyagers had to make a timeout as they're up by 4, but they can feel them cooking. They can feel Cassius cooking, so they probably have to find a way to contain her once more.
Yeah, I feel like they're also having to keep a very close eye on their big furs. I mean, they're putting a lot of pressure on Malka. As we've seen, he's having to run around a lot to guard Kivar, but also he's helping out with Narcissa, as we've seen him get multiple blocks against her. And you have to imagine that the Penguin's going to have a difficult time maintaining that level of defense throughout the entire game, so that we might see him subbed out at some point, and just so they can give him a break. But he'll actually, yes, he's off the floor now.
And right now we do see a lot of the second unit back on the court as Lin hands over to Baltov. Right now Rio trying to go for the quick layup, but it's no good. So now Albany has a chance to try to cut the deficit down to only just 1 possession. As Albany hands it over to Hunt. Hunt getting fouled up by Lin. That's their second personal. The first one has been made. And I gotta say, the Alphas, even though that they had been a little bit of a decimate in the early half, they have been able to fight back to cut the deficit possibly down to 2. Yep.
Great poise from the rookie there, making both of his baskets. His first points in the FBA Finals.
Yep.
First points in Game 2 of the FBA Finals.
Yeah, and that's really kind of the importance, especially when you're so young, being in this type of field. And right now, we get a quick dunk there, as Winnipeg is trying to get the crowd back into this, as they're up by 4 once more.
Yeah, Connie guarding Grigori is like one of the worst matchups. He's 6'9". I think she's a hair under 5 feet, 6 feet. Yeah, she's 5'8", so, you know, almost a whole foot of height difference.
Yeah, and not a really good shot there, as Winnipeg's able to take advantage of with a quick, fast break points. And right now, the Voyagers are just really killing it here on the field. Only 54% compared to the Albany's 40%. It's kind of crazy that they're only down by 2 possessions, Albany.
Free throws, honestly, and they've been making some threes. That's been the other benefit. As Connie somehow...
Ooh. Yeah, Cloverfield really just shaking things up as they were able to get into the paint, laying it up and in. Right now, here comes Karo. Getting over to Baltov. Getting a quick screen. Got the bigger fur on him, but gets blocked quite easily. Wasn't sure if that was the best thing to do in that scenario with a switch like that.
Yeah, I think they wanted to get to Caro again, but he just didn't have the time, so he forced it himself. As we see another block there, this time coming out from Yugori.
Yeah, the block party continues to be the theme here for game 2. Just block after block. We'll see if that's the case here, but no, Karo is able to get the quick dish and lay it in.
Well, that's the funny thing. All these blocks, but the field goal percentage on the team level, I mean, between the two teams is about 50%, which is still high for such a high-level defensive game.
Yeah, it's really, really weird because, like, obviously both teams are trying to be very efficient with their possessions. As we get a quick 3, and it's in and out.
Yeah, she had space, just not able to convert there.
Yeah, right now, Baltov trying to lay it up and in. And now we have the longest lead of the game as Winnipeg is now up by 8. Getting close to a double-digit lead. Albany has to find an answer quick to get into a heap of trouble.
Yeah, as you said earlier, in game 1, the fact that they won it is such a huge thing, but they don't want to let game 2 slip away. They have the momentum tonight, but it seems like Winnipeg has come out to fight.
Yeah, and Karo once again with the quick board. Winnipeg has really turned it up on defense. We'll see if they could be able to extend this to a 10-point lead right here, right now, and that'll be a huge, huge momentum swing. As right now they gotta get to lay it up, but no good, not this time. As Albany once again has the rock. And they are able to cut the deficit down to 6. But we'll see how long that will last as Baltov with the rock. Baltov pass it over to Ryorkov. Going over for the long 2 and rattles it home. Now we're seeing Winnipeg kind of really relying on the mid-rangers because it seems like they're really, really going close to the paint considering how often it's being scored from within that distance.
As we see Henderson. Almost a three-pointer there, but just inside the line.
Both teams are really just saying, you know what, we're going to have to rely on the perimeter a bit more. Quite an interesting adjustment as we're about to close the third quarter of this game. And we get a quick block there, but it was given over to Ryuk, so even though the block was there, they were still able to capitalize. Really lucky that Winnipeg was able to try and at least keep the ball with their hands, get the quick 2. And we see another timeout for Albany. They only have 3 left here for the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of time left. As you see, they do want to go ahead and make the substitution. They're bringing back Narkissa on the floor to play point. And they need an adjustment here. They can't, if they end this game with any timeouts left and they lose, I mean, that's, I think, a failure on the coaching part to not do everything in their power. You definitely want to save 1 or 2 for that last minute. But you can't be down by 20 at that point and have a chance at winning.
Yeah, for sure. And right now we get to see Ryukov going for the quick mid-ranger, but it's no good. Johansson with the rebound. Loomis trying to go for a quick spin move and try to open his way up, but instead passes out to Isajima. Cassius with a long 3, but that is going to be no good. So they're just trying to find a way to get her cooking, but to no avail. And right now we're trying to see a tough layup, but it was no good. Now Cassius going for another 3, but no good this time.
Yeah, I think they got in her head. She's just trying to force it now to get something going. It's just not falling. Even with all the screens, you see immediately she's calling for screens to go for 3s, and they're not in desperation. They should not be in desperation mode right now. I understand that she wants to get some momentum back on her side.
Oh, and even then, Albany really good defense there as Kara was struggling trying to find some way to the basket and ends up to no avail as Loomis trying to see if they can sneak their way back into the paint, but this dead has it over to Johansson. Have it over to Cassius. Cassius for the mid-ranger, and it's good. They are still tight on her, so right now it just seems to be not being the case as Winnipeg hands it over to Caliber. Passes back over to, oh, this is not a good size, and that was just too easy for Caro. Really taking advantage of that size difference against Cassius.
I think Albany needs to make a decision the next game, final quarter. They can't afford to keep wasting possessions. I mean, we see the defense is just smothering them.
Yeah, and now Winnipeg is up by 10 by the end of number 3, 76-66. We have seen Winnipeg really contain the Alphas here, just making sure that they are just struggling for dear life.
Yeah, I don't know what adjustments they need to make. Maybe get Terry more involved. Go back to the Kivar and Watterson in the post gameplay. I mean, no one's in foul trouble. They can afford to play aggressive on defense and still be attacking the post. And you see the field goal percentage has definitely slipped for the Alphas here, where the Voyagers have remained above 50%.
Yeah, and we did see a good opening spot there for Terry, laying it up and in, but they get the and one on the other end. Winnipeg just really just doing anything that they want right now against the...
Yeah, and that just almost feels like a chuck up that just happened to go in after the contact. See if the Dragon can get and one.
That he does. So now they're up by 11. Remember, this is still a winnable game for Albany. They just have to go ahead and try and stop the run that Winnipeg is having, as well as try to turn up the 12, but they are not able to get the field goal this time. But right now, Eve passes it over to Kakinos, passing it over to Martineau. Francois laying it up, and once again, really good. And Winnipeg is now just starting to run away with this thing.
Yeah, I feel like if this gets to a 15-point game here, it might be, I don't want to call it checkout time, but it definitely becomes more difficult. You don't want to risk, as Malka, a massive block again. I mean, this is just, and Martineau transition to.
Whew. And right now, everything just seems to be flipped over its head. Winnipeg is just not letting these thing going. They're just making sure to put a knife down the Alpha's throats right now. The crowd is really on Winnipeg's side as they're up by 15. The defense is going really well. Terry trying to go for a tough shot, but gets blocked once again.
That was Cloverfield.
Oh, Cloverfield.
Or sorry, Fitch Loomis. I keep changing my name. Fitch Loomis.
But either way, it's really just going to show that Albany is just defensively right now, as Winnipeg is just doing everything they want on both sides of the court. Right now, here comes...
That was dangerous.
Yeah, that would have been a very crazy play there for Winnipeg, but now Watterson trying to go for the quick layup, and it's good. Now Cassius able to cut the deficit down to 12. But they're going to need a lot more effort defensively. They want to try and dig out of this hole that they dug themselves into.
Well, one Cassius is having a good night. I mean, just the one that we don't necessarily game plan around, I'd say. An alley-oop! Oh, okay. They did not bounce it out. It fell in eventually, and Andreas with 19 points has been a main factor for the Voyagers here in their lead.
Yeah, they, even though they overestimated the lob, because I was assuming they wanted to go for a dunk there, but hey, 2 points is 2 points. And now Loomis getting a nice screen, getting the switch that's most likely needed, so maybe use his speed to get by his defender, but instead tries to go for a long distance shot, but it gets blocked pretty easily.
Yeah, he started off really well in the first half coming off the bench, but it's just been absolutely ice cold here. And there we go,
Oh,
Watterson, huge block, and they've been avoiding him, but he was able to get the help in on the defense and get that block in. And Andreas, the
oh.
fadeaway, he's feeling it. The Red Dragon is hot right now.
Yeah, right now we see like Winnipeg really just taking it and running away with it tonight, as they are now up by 16, and it's crazy because it just seems like the script is kind of flipped. It's the same story, but it's a different team that's really dominating right now.
Yeah, this is what we expected game one, in all honesty. But I mean, we can kind of take as I think with 7 minutes to go and down by 16, Winnipeg is not showing any signs of slowing down here, and Albany I think needs a miracle at this point to come back. What does Albany need to do going into game three after a
I
showing
think.
tonight like this?
Oh, geez, and then need another turnover. But I think really the big thing is to really try to see if they can have any other people try to step up, especially with Terry, because they seem to not be able to have the ball go into his hands, and he is the current reigning MVP. We get a fadeaway jumper, and it's good there for Albany, as they did cut the deficit down a little bit. But yeah, just trying to find a way to get Terry open is probably one of the big things as well, because he also is a very dominant player when he gets a chance to.
Yeah, and I feel like they need to figure out what they're going to do with Narcissa. I feel like they were trying to really play through her tonight, but the Voyagers just had an answer for her, and it was an answer of two defenders pretty much anytime she put a shot up. And they can't afford to let her be completely shut out like that in games like this. I mean, if she is being shut out like that, they need to find someone else, or they need to create more open opportunities. And we saw a couple shots she put up where she was very open, and she had a good chance of making them.
Yeah, and that's really kind of the name of the game, is the fact that like Winnipeg did a really, really good job defensively at trying to contain one particular player to make it be like, all right, if it's a pick and poison, then we're gonna make sure that who we pick does not really have any easy baskets, as Albany does have the rock, and see if they can cut the deficit down to 12. So, I mean, the game's still not technically not over yet. They still have an opportunity to probably make some magic, but it's got to be a lot of magic for it to do so.
I mean, they got to start shooting like 60%, and we just see block after block. It doesn't matter who's shooting, who's defending.
Yeah, and Eve going for the long two, but it is no good. So they at least still have a chance to try and cut the deficit down to 12 once again, but it's again trying to see if they're able to find some kind of opening, and they do have a 3, and it's good.
I mean, they're not dead, but they're on life support right now.
They are. They need to get more stops here, because at this point, every possession defensively counts. It's their livelihood, and that's not going to help it as they get the easy quick 2 from Caliber.
Yeah, but Loomis, if he can start hitting those threes, it could be a big bonus for Albany, and it looks like they want to try to go with that maybe, but again, this is how the blocks have been generating.
Yep, and we get
a blocking this time, not an offensive foul. I was about to say, we just saw one with Narcissa in the first half, but they actually got to substitute Loomis out. They're going to go back to Narcissa. She's had a chance to rest and maybe recenter herself for the final 4 minutes of this game.
I mean, I can't really blame them for that, because even though she has struggled, she is one of your best players. And another block has happened, so Winnipeg continuing their block party as Martineau going for the tough shot, but it doesn't matter. It goes in anyway. And now they're once again up by 15.
Okay, maybe now they pulled the plug.
Yeah, I think that this one's basically a kind of wrapped up as O'Toole tries to go for the 3, but it's no good. And we get another rebound there from, I believe it was Malka.
Yeah, he was perfect in the first half from beyond the arc, and I think if he had made that one there, could have still maybe had an outside chance, but Winnipeg almost about to breach 100, and Albany still stuck at 81, so you have to
Yeah,
kind of think just don't injure yourself in these final couple minutes trying to force something that is a low percentage chance of winning.
yeah. I mean, like honestly, for Albany, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal because in these high stakes game in the playoffs, no matter what round you're in, especially here in the finals, just getting one on the road is so important.
Oh, it
And be
is.
able to get it in game one really kind of just puts them on notice. And now they understand that this is going to be a game, a series from here on out, as Winnipeg is able to hit the century mark here with the final 2.5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, well, now it's on. Oh, nice swish from Terry there. But now everything's going to be on Winnipeg. This is great momentum going into game three, but Winnipeg has to show up. They have to still steal one on the road. They can't rely on home court advantage as they seem. Albany can find the right mojo to take a win away.
Yeah, and that's kind of really the big thing is that even though that they're able to tie the series up, it's still in Albany's court because they have home field advantage now. Like no
Terry,
matter what happens.
where was that in the first half? I mean, I know you put up 8 points, but now you're just like, okay, give me the ball. I'm just gonna put the ball in the basket like a good boy. I mean, 4 points right off the bat. A little late though.
It is a little bit late, but hey, maybe trying to get a little bit of momentum as we get into game three, which will be in Albany this time around. I mean, we'll be back here in game five, but for now, they have to try and see what they can do to really kind of take advantage of this opportunity to really kind of see what they can or can't do as we wind down this game.
Well, it could be a
But
moral victory at least if Albany can get this back to a single-digit loss.
yeah, it's possible as Yona goes for a three, and he does just that. So right now, at least, if they're going down swinging. Is they're now only down by 12.
Let's see. Miss shot, three, steal, three, steal, three, steal, three. They tied the
Yeah,
game.
it's like full court press at that point, but they are able to get the miss, and they're probably just going to rely on 3-point shots for the rest of this game. No, actually, no, they're going to go drive, but no good. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much in the books now.
I mean, it would
But they
take
gotta
a meteor crashing into this stadium, I think, at this point to change the outcome of this game.
Yeah, for sure. As Malka going over for the quick two, but no good as Yona gets the board. And I think that will pretty much call it a day after this.
No, I think they'll go for the
But no,
basket here. They do not want to go into the game. They had a chance to have a single digit. They wanted to give Narkissa an open look. She wasn't able to make it. I don't think Winnipeg will shoot here. No bad
they're not going to shoot
manners.
here. That's game. So after the end of game two, Winnipeg was able to tie things back up before heading to a trip down to New York. Really, really good game here for both teams.
And looking at the stats, I mean, Malka, 7 blocks, absolute defensive monster, bullying the Albany Alphas, preventing them. Again, that's 7 shots he may have prevented from going in on his own. Obviously, just fell short of a double-double with only 9 points. Carbonu, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Andreas Kokonos threw 23 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Francois, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. 2 blocks coming in as well for the dog. Voltave, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 points. A bit struggling from the field, 2 for 9, but was able to generate offense with his passing game. Caliber off the bench, 5 for 12, 11 total points, 2 assists, a rebound, steal, and a block. Pierre Caro, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 4 from the field. Middendorf, 1 for 4, 1 rebound as well. Lynn, 2 points, 3 rebounds, perfect from the field. Did have a turnover though and 2 fouls. But then again, coming off the bench, you have a little bit more leeway of giving up those fouls. Yagori picked up the offense after only having a few minutes on the floor. 6 points in the second half, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. Great defensive showing. I 7 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, and Timmins. Limited time, only 4 points and 3 rebounds. Jumping on over to the Alphas, and Yoda stepped up a bit scoring wise, 13 points. O'Toole had 14 points. Narkissa had 10, but 3 for 23 from the field. And I have to say, at least half of those misses seemed like they were blocked. And that is just a terrible way to be in, trying to generate points in every shot coming back to your face. Kivar, double double, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Watterson, 7 blocks as well. He was no slouch either. Not letting Malka get all the fun here tonight, putting up an equal showing in blocks. Loomis off the bench, ice cold in that second half. 13 points total. I think he put up 10 in the first, if I remember correctly. So unfortunate to struggle so much in the second half after such a great first. Janine Henderson, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a block. Cloverfield, 2 for 4, 4 points, 3 assists. To PC, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Also chiming in on the defensive end, Takeru Ishijima, 4 points, 1 block, perfect from the field. Oscar Johansson, 3 rebounds, 10 minutes on the floor, and then the rookie got 2 points from the charity stripe and a rebound and an assist. And with that, game two comes to a close. Winnipeg answers back. They won't go into game three down two. They go in tied, one apiece.
Yep, and honestly, like that's a great way to kind of get yourself back into this series because like this was going to be a make or break game for Winnipeg of whether or not they're going to last long here in these finals, and they answered with flying colors. They passed. So now the both teams can understand what they are at their best, especially in the second half. So we just got to see how well both of these are going to have to adjust after two wild games here in these finals.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if Narkissa can get some more open looks or maybe even reduce the number of those shots that are getting blocked by passing, we could see a completely different game in Albany. If you look at the stats, you could definitely see that the bench stepped up from the Voyagers, putting up almost half their points, 40 total,
Mm-hmm.
40%. Uh, and then they didn't really have to shoot the three. I mean, obviously, Carbonu and Martinu and even Baltave have no issue shooting threes, but they didn't need to tonight. They just attacked the post and it worked. And really, Albany might need to consider doing the same and generating some foul trouble on the Voyager side.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the name of the game because it seems like both teams really paint a bit because both teams, well, especially with Winnipeg going for 68 points within the paints. That's it's quite a lot. It's
Yeah,
quite a lot going in there for within the 15 feet. While like Albany, of course, is no slouch either, going for 46 within the paint. So it just seems like both teams are really heavily relying on trying to drive to the basket or really go relying on their bigs here, especially for this game. And what can I say except like defense seems to be the one that wants to win champions because Winnipeg, if they play defense like that, it's going to be a long series for Albany if they really try and cinch this in. But of course, Albany, they can't take this loss too hard because they did what not a lot of again, that game one could mean a lot for this series. And it just really depends on if Winnipeg can have that same kind of energy when they come back in game three. Because if they're able to take game three, we might have a whole different story.
yeah, and Albany is a very explosive team when it comes to offense. They are an absolute danger to just run away with the game, as we saw previously. So Winnipeg is going to have to, and I think stamina is going to play a major factor on the Voyager side because that level of defense is very hard to maintain, especially with trying to play offense at the same time. Because obviously, there's two sides to the basketball game, and if you step up on one end, eventually you're going to run out of stamina.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that might be all we can say here for game two. Once again, your final score 188 going over to the Winnipeg Voyagers, tying this series up 1-1. It's been a very exciting game so far, an exciting series so far overall, and I cannot wait to see you guys here. Oh, not here, but over in Albany as we go into game three.
Yeah, I've been Ryan Niesman. Thank you once again, Marcus, and have a good night, everyone.
See ya.